The fans react here as Palmer is pitching his strongest game of 1982. Can I say that, Tom?
No. That was his last
one hitter. Here's the pitch. It's strike call.
Sure you should say it.
Or no.
That's him.
All righty, here's the pitch to Mitchell, and it's strike one called. So Jim Palmer giving up just his second walk of the game, both to the number 9 hitters in the order, Faedo the last time and Bush this time.
He can hear us on the radio right now. He's probably with Ralph Salvon, so come on out, Jim, because we don't want to create a big traffic jam when you try to drive home. They're on their feet here, and they're not going to leave until you at least come out and stop the cap. So get your elbow out of that ice in the trainer's room and come on out.
20 consecutive scoreless innings for Jim Palmer. I think he may be coming. The bird, one of the ushers. Here he comes. He's taking his uniform shirt off. Comes out and quickly waves to the fans here at 19,536. Have thoroughly enjoyed themselves on a one-hit performance by Jim Palmer. We'll be back and give you the total and have some further final comments after this. Well, 2 hours and 3 minutes, and Jim Palmer has dispatched the Twins with alacrity. The only time he allowed fewer hits in a Major League game was against Oakland back in August of 1969. As the totals read, for the Orioles, 3 runs, 7 hits, and no errors. And for the Twins, no runs on 1 hit and 1 error. Bobby Castillo with the loss, although he pitched well, was 8-11. And Palmer ups his better than 80% winning percentage now as he comes through with his 13th victory as against 3 losses. Even if Pete Vukovich can win tonight for Milwaukee, he won't catch Palmer on winning percentage, as Jim has come up with one of his all-time masterpieces as he comes a Gary Gaetti 5th inning single from a no-hitter. The game-winning run batted in was credited to Eddie Murray for his 1st inning homer, and now he has 15 of those GWRBIs, 4th in the American League. And the Orioles take it big over the Twins, 3-0. The announcers for this broadcast are compensated by WFBR Radio and selected by WFBR in conjunction with the Baltimore Orioles. The Baltimore Oriole Baseball Network has been arranged by Metro Sports. This program was brought to you by the authority of Baltimore Orioles Incorporated under rights purchased by WFBR Baltimore. Any rebroadcast or other use of this play-by-play description without written consent is prohibited.
Magic, feel it happen. Orioles magic, feel it happen. O-R-I-O-L-E-S. Magic, 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 magic.
Something magic happens.
And now it's time for the Orioles post-game wrap-up with Tom Marr, taking a look at the people and the plays that made it happen for the Orioles on WTTR-FM.
Back at Memorial Stadium in Baltimore. Good evening once again, everybody. This is Tom Marr with a post-game show. The hottest team in baseball, the Baltimore Orioles. They're in the stretch drive. They won 14 out of their last 15 games, and tonight they did it behind the hottest pitcher in baseball, Jim Palmer. Jim in his last 2 times out with complete game shutouts. A 1-0 4-hit shutout against the Toronto Blue Jays last Tuesday. And tonight, against a pretty good hitting club, the Minnesota Twins, all Jim Palmer did was throw a 1-hitter. For Jim Palmer, that's the second 1-hitter of his career. Jim Palmer earlier in his career had a no-hit game. That was against the Oakland A's on August the 13th, 1969. Then in 1973, he experienced 2 near misses, both here in Baltimore at Memorial Stadium. He had a perfect game with 1 out in the 9th inning against the Texas Rangers on June the 16th. He had retired the first 25 batters when Ken Suarez, remember Ken? Well, he singled, and Jim ultimately won that game, a 9-1 2-hitter. Then on July the 27th, a leadoff single in the 8th inning by George Hendrick was the only hit that he allowed. And tonight, the only hit he allowed, this name will go down in Oriole trivia history, Gary Gaetti, who singled off Palmer in the 5th inning. The rest of the night, it was down 1-2-3, one time after another. Jim did walk a couple of batters tonight in the 6th inning. and in the 9th inning, but when he needed to, he was bearing down. Again, it looked like he had the good fastball tonight. Joe Nolan with a good job behind the plate. It looked as if at times tonight Jim was able to use all his pitches, the fastball, the curveball, the slider, and the change. He was overpowering against Toronto. The same here tonight. A magnificent outing for Palmer. The best game he has pitched in a number of years. He came within one hit of pitching the no-hitter tonight. An all-important victory for the Orioles as they continue their torrid pace, again winning 14 out of 15. The game-winning RBI, number 15 on the year, goes to Eddie Murray as he slammed a towering home run in the first inning off the loser of the game, Bobby Castillo. The Orioles then got an insurance run in the second inning as Gary Renicky plated Cal Ripken. 3 runs, 7 hits, and no errors for the Orioles. No runs, just 1 hit and 1 error for the Minnesota Twins. Palmer is now 13-3 on the year. Castillo has a record of 8-11. Jim Palmer with 11 wins in a row. The only time he did that previously in his career was in 1969. These two teams will wind up their season series tomorrow afternoon. Dennis Martinez, he's been on a roll for the Orioles with 3 wins his last 3 outings. He'll be going against Frank Viola. We'll be back to briefly run down the scoring on tonight's game for you after this message. Jim Palmer, as a starter this year, has a record of 13-2. 13-2 as a starter for Jim Palmer, and there's still the chance that Jim could qualify for the Cy Young Award. Had he not missed a couple of starts on the West Coast, getting an elbow treated, definitely they'd be talking about Palmer for the Cy Young Award. The Orioles won both games and won them in style. I think they scored 8 runs in one game and 7 in another. But Jim Palmer, not only the ace of class throughout his Oriole career, but now once again the ace of the Orioles staff with a record of 13-3. Coming into the game tonight, he was the percentage leader in the American League. Palmer with an 800 percentage in the American League this year, and that'll go up a little as a result of his victory tonight. Let's run down the scoring for you. The Twins, of course, they're first up tonight, and they go down 1-2-3. Then we move to the Oriole first inning. Al Bunbury started it with a strikeout. Glenn Gulliver then roped a double down into the corner in right field. Second out as Ken Singleton is out on a fly ball to right field. And they started it throughout the stadium tonight, the chant of Eddie, Eddie, and Eddie delivered. Very little breeze in the park tonight. Old Glory right now is blowing right down the flagpole. Pleasant night for baseball. Here's the 2-1 delivered to Eddie. Fly ball well hit to right field. Way back, and you can kiss that one goodbye. Home run, Eddie Murray. And the Orioles take a 2-0 lead. That was a rainbow cloud, a towering blast. Looked like it was shot out of a cannon for Eddie Murray. That is home run number 26. He now has 85 RBIs. Oh, what a blast from Eddie. Then the Orioles, that's all they really needed to win tonight, that 2-run homer from Eddie Murray, but they added a little insurance run in the second inning. Cal Ripken laced a triple out into right center field, and he scored on a base hit, a single by Gary Renicky. The Orioles lead it by a score of 3-0, and that it was something that we've been saying a lot lately. Vintage Jim Palmer. The Twins go down 1-2-3 in the second. They do that again in the third inning. They do it in the fourth inning, then the fifth inning. Herbig struck out to lead off the inning. Ward went down on strikes. Gaetti then singled, and it was a solid single to center field for the only hit for the Twins on the night. In the sixth inning, Laudner led off with a strikeout, and Faedo walked at that point, but Palmer got Mitchell on a fly ball and got Castino to ground out. Jim gets him 1-2-3 in the eighth inning. Then in the ninth inning, Bush was sent up as a pinch hitter. He became the second walk of the night for Jim Palmer. And then number 22 nailed him 1-2-3. Mitchell out on a fly ball to center field. Castino out on strikes. And Tom Brunansky, who homered off Jim Palmer here earlier in May to win a game for Castillo and the Twins. Tom Brunansky was the last hope for the Minnesota Twins. There was only one hit on the board, and Jim went to work.
Tom, 2 things I want to say. I've enjoyed working with you on this game, and I hope to do it again sometime soon. Secondly, please congratulate Palmer for me on the excellence of his pitching tonight.
Will do.
All righty, here's Brunansky, the strong right-hand hitter, waiting a 1-1 pitch. The fire hit in the air. That should do it. A high pop-up to Len Circata now at second base. He moves into the infield grass, and the Birds have done it. That's it. Baltimore and Jim Palmer win on Pancake's one-hitter, 3-0.
That's the way it wound up here at Memorial Stadium tonight. We'll be back to take a look at that all-important scoreboard for you after this month in August. And if this keeps up, he could also be the pitcher of the month in September. And then maybe again he could be the pitcher of the month in October. Wouldn't that be something? Let's take a look now at Charlie Mayer's scoreboard. First of all, the Seattle Mariners doing the Orioles a favor in Fenway Park this afternoon. Orioles shut out the Minnesota Twins 3-0. A one-hitter from Jim Palmer. A complete game, 1-0 shutout his last time out, and an 8-inning job and a 3-1 victory over the Texas Rangers the time before that. So Palmer lately, like the fellow who's going to pitch tomorrow, Dennis Martinez, Jim Palmer has been somewhat overpowering, to say the least. The wind-up of the series tomorrow afternoon. Again, a reminder, it's Jersey Day tomorrow. Dennis Martinez for the Orioles, Frank Viola for the Minnesota Twins. We hope that you'll join us here at the park. If you can't, remember, your box seat to all Oriole games is right here on the Baltimore Oriole Baseball Network. Our airtime tomorrow is going to be at 2 o'clock. We'll have the pregame show for you, and I imagine that Earl Weaver will be talking a little about Jim Palmer on Manager's Corner tomorrow. That's all for you right here on the Baltimore Oriole Baseball Network.
You've been listening to the Orioles post-game wrap-up with Tom Marr. Be sure and follow the 1982 Orioles all season long on your sports voice of Central Maryland, WTTR-FM.
Those early years were lots of fun, and though they lost more than they won, baseball had returned to Baltimore. Put two Robbies in the mix, and by 1966, the Orioles had put the Dodgers down in 4. I'm talking baseball, Gentile and John Orsino, Oriole baseball. Hoyt and Aparicio, the Kitty Core, Triandos, Billy Lowe's. Where was Jackie Brandt? Nobody knows. I'm talking baseball, baseball and the O's. Earl came upon the scene. Each year they had a winning team. Play it smart, the breaks will come your way. 1970 champs, Rich Davis, May and Grant. Whenever you saw Baltimore, they came to play. I'm talking baseball, Belanger, Ellie Paul, Oriole baseball, Baylor, Buford Hall, Cuellar and McNally poised to throw. Boo Powell strikes another mighty blow. I'm talking baseball, baseball and the O's. When you're talking Baltimore baseball, the Bay and John McGraw. 20 games by 4 was done. Brooksy robs another one. Frank's triple crown the year they won it all. Now Robbie's in the hall. The Orioles have tradition, and with Ken and Eddie switching, they're aiming for the series in the fall. New names join the old, another team unfolds. I'm a believer in Palmer and Weaver, so let's play ball. I'm talking baseball, Vic Dempsey, Richie Dower, Oriole baseball, Renicky, Ayala, Bumbry, Scotty Mike, and Timmy Stone. The wings will tell how far the birds can go. I'm talking baseball, baseball and the O's. Talking baseball, baseball and the O's.